Good afternoon. I'm Jonathan McIntyre, the CEO of Motif Foodworks, and it is my great pleasure today to present here at the Future Food Tech Conference. The topic I'm going to cover today is the science behind what makes meat, meat. But first, I just want to mention a few things about my company, Motif Foodworks. We are a food tech company. We are creating solutions to improve the taste, texture, and nutrition of plant-based foods. So, what makes meat, meat? So here in front of you is a picture of 4 different types of meat: beef, chicken, pork, fish. One of the important things to recognize about eating is it's all about the entire experience, right? It is taste, texture, appearance, and aroma. All those things create an experience that you enjoy. So now, if we are going to replace these animal foods with plant-based foods, we want to recreate that experience as close as possible to be able to convert consumers over to eating more plant-based. So, we know that the consumer has told us right now, these products do not meet our needs. In fact, 2 out of 3 Americans say they are motivated to eat more plant-based foods, but they are not good enough. If they could be better on all those aspects we just spoke about, texture, taste, aroma, there would be a bigger conversion of people to consistently consuming these products. And that would have a major impact on both health and sustainability. And that is the goal of our company at Motif Foodworks. Well, if you are going to solve a problem, the first thing you need to understand is, what is the problem? And that starts with really having an in-deep understanding of meat, which is essentially muscle from different animal tissues. So what makes up meat? Well, compositionally, it's water, protein, fat, and some small minerals and other chemicals such as carbohydrates, vitamins, salts. But it's really a superstructure, right? It is put together in a certain way with muscle cells, fat cells, connective tissue, and those cells are all specialized. And those cells interact in a superstructure, which is the muscle, similar to like an organ. And those interactions created through the growth and development create unique properties in what is actually a muscle. So we eat meat after we cook it. So it's pretty important to understand what happens to meat and in the structure of the pre-cooked material to its cooked form, what are the chemical and physical transformations that are occurring that then set us up to understand what it is that is actually consumed. So this is a graph that shows some of the chemical and physical transformations that are occurring during the heating process and the cooking process of meat. Now, we all know that if we cook with different mediums, frying versus charcoal versus other ways of transferring heat, we do impart some flavor attributes to the meat coming from the cooking process. But in general, what is transforming in the muscle or in the meat product is what's critical to understanding how we perceive that experience. So at the lower temperatures, as the meat is heating up, we start seeing protein denaturation, specifically the proteins that are involved in the fibrous nature of muscle. We then start to see the breakdown of myoglobin. Myoglobin is the protein in muscle that carries the iron. It's what makes beef red. The oxygen bound to that is what makes it red. That iron is also reactive. So as it breaks down and interacts with the other components, there's cooking chemistry going on in that process that only occurs if iron in the form of heme is present to create those kinds of molecules. As we get to higher temperature, some of the more structured molecules that are larger, like collagen and actin, are starting to break down. And finally, the gelatin formation starts breaking down. All of those things contribute to the color, the aroma, the taste, and the texture. Okay, that is for meat. So now let's ask the question, what happens in a plant-based burger where we've produced it by taking a plant protein, a pea or soy or another form, with binding agents, water, a fat system. We have mixed it, formed it, and now we're going to cook it. So what is happening? Well, that structure in some ways has a chemical composition similar to meat, but its structural composition is differently. The relationship of the fat to the protein, the structuring of the fibers, that's all different. And we see that on what happens when meat breaks down when you cook it. First thing we start seeing is that both the water that has been added in starts to release early on in the process, as well as the fat. And I think if you have experience with plant-based meats, you will see the product having white specks in the, in the matrix. Those are, in some cases, coconut oil or other fat forms. But very quickly, if you put it in a frying pan or even on a grill, you'll see it liquefy and spill out. In a muscle meat product, you do not see that as fast, and you don't see it essentially melting out into the pan like you do with a plant-based burger. You also don't get that flavor development that is created through the chemistry of the iron bound to heme that is naturally occurring in the muscle. And obviously, different muscle tissues have different level of heme, and that creates different flavor profiles. You do get color formation through the Maillard reaction, not unlike what you get with meat. And often the surface color could be very similar when it comes to a plant-based burger or a plant-based steak product. The color is always a challenge. Now, one of the other things that you will note when you cook a plant-based product is aroma. You might get some of the savory aroma, but you're also going to get the aroma of kind of the off flavor or off notes that you get with pea or soy that you get differently. So one of the key things to making meat more like meat is figuring out a way to deal with the off flavor that comes from plant proteins. So now you've made a plant-based burger and a meat burger, and you're asking the consumer to explain the differences. What do they tell you? Well, they tell you that most of the products on the market today do not meet my expectations from taste or texture. Appearance can be a problem. Smell is an issue. So the little table below shows you which are the most dissatisfying factors to the consumer. So you can see that on all levels there is a concern, but texture seems to be the biggest. So I am happy to tell you that Motif Foodworks have created 2 new technologies to improve plant-based food. One is to drive taste, aroma, and appearance. It is a protein that provides that iron chemistry into the meat. It gives it all of those flavor attributes. The second one is an agent that mimics the structure of connective tissue. Connective tissue, as you know, is one of the big drivers of the texture in a meat product. And the formation of a plant-based burger with these 2 ingredients makes for a superior execution and a product that the consumer feels like they're having a similar experience, if not identical, to eating a ground beef hamburger. And don't take my word for that. I'm going to show you a little tape on consumers that have consumed a Motif Better Burger.
One word I would use to describe this burger is just mouth-watering.
Tasty.
Classic, perfect American burger.
I just feel good eating it.
It looks like a burger, tastes like a burger.
It was just surprisingly good.
The texture is almost identical to hamburger.
It tastes so much like meat, the juiciness, the texture, the color of it. Looks like it's the real meat.
I would have no problem ordering this instead of a beef burger. I think this is very good.
It didn't feel like artificial at all. And this feels like it wouldn't be like a guilty pleasure. It just feel like a normal thing that I could eat regularly.
I'm just using a comparison, and this is way better. It looks appetizing. It's got that grill texture. I was really impressed.
I really liked it. I would definitely replace a burger with this.
Yeah, I thought it was the best one, and I think my kids would actually eat it. It was great flavor, it was flaky, it was juicy. I liked it all around.
I think they nailed it.
It was very juicy. That level was really spot on for me. This is the best one I've ever had.
I could see myself bringing it to 2 to 3 times a week, having that. This is the best I've experienced and had yet.
I love it has the brown outside, and then the inside is almost like red, like a burger.
The color was really good. It made it look like a real beef patty.
I could 100% incorporate that on a basis, on a weekly basis.
It's just a perfect burger. It looked like a burger. It tasted like a burger. The texture was just spot on. The seasoning was perfect. It was really, really good. I had to stop myself too from eating it because I wanted to eat the whole thing.
My name is Ben.
Hey guys, my name is Jen.
Ian from Chicago.
This is The Burger.
I am so excited.
Listen to the sound of that burger.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Oh wow.
That's actually fantastic. Let me try another. Hang on.
That's even better than what I thought it was going to be.
It was easy to cook.
It was really quick, so quick. It's so simple.
Tell me that doesn't look like meat.
I never would have known.
Heck, quite honestly, if you blindfold me, I may not be able to taste either, even though I've been a cook and a foodie my whole life.
Motif, you knocked it out of the park.
Well, I hope you thought that was all very exciting. I know at Motif, we are excited to bring that technology to our partners, and those products will be commercializing this year and early next year. And obviously, we've been making that product in our labs. One critical aspect to understand, the science of understanding meat is one thing, but having the skill and capability of food design and application development, which is part of what we do at Motif, allowed us to add and balance all of those attributes and ingredients into the right execution. And that's why we were able to not only have technology, but also have design come to play to create this amazing product. Motif's food design capabilities are critical for how we work with our customers. It allows us to demonstrate and teach how to combine our ingredients, our systems and processes to create the best experience for their consumers. So what's in the future? How about a New York strip in which you see pure marbleization, but no animal? We are working on a technology called extrudable fat, in which fat and protein are extruded together to create the same properties as marbleized whole muscle meat. And we're not just stopping at meat. In the future, we're excited to talk to you about cheese. You want to talk about a challenge in getting all the properties of taste, texture, aroma, and smell right? Cheese is a huge challenge. And we are excited to bring to you the examples of our plant-based cheese very soon. At Motif, we are excited to improve plant-based foods, taste, texture, and nutrition so that you can have craveable plant-based food experiences. Thank you.